Well, hello everybody on YouTube. It's the Wingnut, and as you can see, I'm using a different kind of mount today. Hopefully the audio is coming through. If not, I'll do a voiceover on it. But previous video, I talked about doing using military surplus for a lot of my camping gear and whatnot. And as it so happens, I acquired a ICS. All right, this is by ORC Industries. This is the improved combat shelter I mentioned in the last video, and to be perfectly honest, I got this at a really good price down at Sergeant Troy's because it is very dirty and was very most likely put away very wet. And what I'm doing, this is the rain flag, which is super sticky. You can hear it. You see that? Super sticky. And the reason this is sticky is these was definitely put away wet. You can still see leaves and stuff in it. So this was a sift turn in. And part of that stickiness you're seeing, part of that white, is where they take talcum powder and they sprinkle it, and it's just really grungy. And because it's really grungy, I got a really good price on it. And they're awesome down there. I mentioned Sergeant Troy's before. Same thing. You see this, where the tent is pretty dirty. In fact, it is dirty and nasty enough that I should be putting gloves on, which I have here. Hopefully the angle's good for you guys. Still don't have a tripod, or still don't have a tripod out to really show, so I'm just trying to do the whole head mount thing. Yeah, got me a bucket of water. I've got a sprayer ready to go, and I've got my cleaner, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I just wanted to show you that this tent is actually in really great shape, ripstop nylon, but it's a little gross. It was put away wet, so it's got a real musty, funky smell, and possibly mold and mildew in it. There's no possible, it definitely does. So it's going to require a little bit more hand cleaning than what we expected. But I'm going to do a couple of things. The first thing I'm going to do is mix up some of my cleaner with the water. I'm going to hand spray it, just kind of work it around, and I'm going to wash it in the bucket. So the cleaner I'm using is, and I got to make sure, show it to you, is Revivex Pro Clean by Gear-Aid. I really like the product. I have seen very few videos on this product, and I would have never bought it had I not been looking for repair tape for my my rain jacket. And then after I got my rain jacket fixed, I was using and I've used for years Camp Dry, which is by Kiwi, and it's not as good as it used to be. In fact, after the first rain, it leaked through. So we got the Pro Cleaner, we got the Tenacious tape, cleaned it, did the tape repair, and then did the wash in, which is also the Revivex, and it was awesome. But this I'm going to, and if you're asking where's the stakes and where's the tent poles, those have been separated out already. So yeah, this is the first time I've opened up. This is the first time I'm looking at it, and it is a gross. So we're going to take this. Now you can use this for a tent, and it does tell you for tents, hand wash tents, and use only front loaders for sleeping bags, but it doesn't give you like how much per garment. It says 4 capfuls for a sleeping bag, and I'm actually going to treat this like it's a sleeping bag. Almost. There's 3 in there. put one inside my sprayer. And the reason I'm doing that is so I can hand spray this stuff on and just kind of let it soak in and let the sun get on it a bit. Cheap sprayer, nothing fancy. I think this one's a 32 ouncer. Oh, 48. But add the soap into it. Give it a few pumps, and that's the idea. But this thing stinks. And I may end up letting this soak for a bit inside the detergent. So we're going to see if we can't tighten that up. And just fog it on. The other thing too is waterproofing. I may have to redo the waterproofing on it. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going to. You can see it is absolutely just crusty. That's a good quality tent. It just, oh, what's that? You guys see that right there? What's that? What's that? What's that? What do we find? What do we find? Someone's COVID mask. Great. And some wet ones. Score, free shit. Yeah, this thing's pretty dirty. Whew, and the smell is like a gym sock. Tons of leaves in here. Yeah. When the lady said she'd sell it to me cheap, that was him and Han about what they were charging, because they have brand new ones and they have used ones. She goes, well, I said, all right, well, how much? She goes, I'll name the price. And I named the price. And she goes, oh, I couldn't sell it to you for that much. I'm thinking, oh, that sucks. I guess I'm not buying it. And then she said, because I didn't say that part out loud, she goes, I'd feel bad. So I got it for quite literally a third of the price they would normally charge for one of these. Actually, a little bit back and forth on that. Yeah, this thing definitely was used and put away wet. I am definitely going to turn this thing inside out. Huh. They got waist stickers and wow, drawers, cold weather, shirt, cold weather. Somebody was not prepared for that trip to the field. Yep, and a lot of this stuff is stuck together. Yeah, this was definitely put away in not great shape. So we're gonna have to go through and undo it all. And what's sticking together is it's called a blackout lining. So, oof. And it's every same. So we're just gonna give you a quick wet down with the cleaner. And I cannot describe to you, it literally smells like the inside of a gym sock. Like if you've ever been on a naval ship and you go to a male berthing, that's what it smells like. Just bring back bad memories. I mean, it literally smells like someone's been in just rolling in filth. Yeah, there's tons of stuff like the sticks and the leaves, and I'm just gonna unzip every panel. I'm gonna go through it, stretch it out, make sure it's not sticking anymore. And remember, this is not just water. This is water with a little bit of that cleaner in it. And what I'm just trying to do is get every nook and cranny cleaned out. You know, I took a risk on this with purchasing it, so I'd hate to have wasted my money without giving it a shot to clean it. Jesus Christ, dude. You know, and that might be from the look of it, some of this blackout coating is probably gone, and frankly I don't care if the blackout coating is gone. You know, this is meant for me to be able to take the bike, just go camping. I couldn't have bought a new tent for what I'm spending on this. This has been seam sealed once. Looks like there's been a small repair. Not a very good one, but if it leaks, I'll redo it. And I'm a big fan of the Gear 8 Tenacious tape. I really, really wish there was more tutorials out there on their products when it comes to using them like this. I'm not even sure people have. I'm sure people have used them to repair stuff. I don't think people have ever really used them to do what I'm doing, which is refurbish a military surplus tent that smells like fucking feet and crusty ball sack and mildew, and quite frankly, I'm probably a damn fool for buying this. But like I said, I got it cheap, and anytime you buy secondhand gear, you run a risk of getting some interesting stuff. That's one way to put it. But you're buying it secondhand. Even if you're like, if I bought this tent from somebody's grandma that she only used like twice a year to take the grandkids camping in the backyard, I'd still clean it. It's a brand new tent. I'd still clean it. Why? Because you don't know who's handled it, who's tried it. If it was a display model, which is rare, but it does happen on the higher end tents. You can get a deal by buying display models. So for the most part, I'm just trying to get this cleaner on as much of this tent as possible. And this thing was definitely put away wet. It was put away used from the staining. I say it was on a dirt patch. Probably somebody's doing field exercises, and that was it. So everything's pretty much dripping, which is good. And now you can see how clear the water is, with just the soap in it. Oh yeah. I need one of those like plunger things. Oh, that water's getting kind of... And even after I do this, I'm going to go through and wipe it down with Clorox and whatnot. For the simple fact that I don't know if this Pro Cleaner will get the see where all the blackout stuff is stuck together. And generally when it's put up, they cover it in talcum powder, and I think I've already said that. This is going to be a long video, folks. Like, see, you can see where sunlight's coming through a couple of spots. I don't care about that. You know, what I care about is leaks. The blackout coating is definitely damaged. And it smells, I mean, fuck me, it smells like a goddamn 3-week-old happy sock you find during birthing inspection. I kind of wish I got some of that Gear Aid odor eliminator. Yeah, it's definitely, you can see. So, it is what it is. Alright, I'm going to work on this for a bit, guys, and I'll come back to you. Alright, so I'm going to say this now, right here, the front of the video, and then this will be again in the back of the video. Alright. This is a dirty tent. When it was sold to me, I was told it was a dirty tent. They sold it to me at a price that it was a severely dirty tent. This is a severely dirty tent. It's still functional. I don't see any serious damage to it. All the zippers, everything works. It's just really dirty. Was put away wet. So I cannot stress that enough. This is nothing against Sergeant Troy's. They sell great products. Pardon me, I gotta grab this bag. They sell phenomenal stuff. If I wanted to shell out the money and buy a new tent, I could have. If I wanted to buy a tent in better condition, I could have. I chose to buy this tent, and they sold it to me at a price that reflects the shape it's in because it's exceedingly dirty. So, you know, please, please, please don't take this that Sergeant Troy's pulled a fast one on me or anything like that. They did not. Okay? This was sold at a price that was made absolutely clear that this was a dirty tent. And there's the water. It's damn near black. And then I've let this soak for a bit. Even after I've thoroughly washed this, I'm going to rinse it a couple times, then I'm going to set it up, and I'm going to let it air dry, and then I'm most likely going to wipe this whole thing down with a all-purpose cleaner and possibly a thin Clorox solution. That may bleach the tent out. You know, you've got staining right here. Some of this is staining from the rubberized coating. And then once it is dry and I am done doing all I'm going to do to it before I put it away back in its bag, I'm going to go through and dust it with cornstarch just to make sure it doesn't stick together again. And that's going to happen for the pack bag. It's going to happen for the rain fly. It's going to happen for the tent. All right. As far as the pack bag goes, I've got a tear here, and I've got a couple of little tears here. These are going to get patched with some tenacious tape. I'm not going to waterproof this. I just don't see it. I'm just going to patch any big holes or tears so nothing falls out of it. You know, that hole there, and this seam is starting to go, so we're going to take care of that on the fly. Not a big deal. It's a dirty tent. It's a used tent. If you want and you don't want to buy one in this bad of a shape, they have brand new military surplus there. I don't know the price off the top of my head. It'll be on the screen. And they also have used tents in far better shape. For about $99, I think $99.99 is what they were charging for them, and I got this much lower. So don't think that when you buy military surplus it's all going to be absolutely filthy, dirty, disgusting beyond belief. It's not. This one just happens to be that, and I knew that from the price that I paid. So it is what it is. You know, but I cannot stress enough, don't get mad at Sergeant Troy's. Don't think they robbed me or anything like that. They did not. They sold me a product, a used product. Look at that. They knew was in rough shape. and the price I paid for this reflected it. You could not have bought the stakes and the metal poles for what I paid for this entire tent. I got a great deal. All I gotta do is do a little cleaning, or a lot of cleaning. I'm happy with that. On top of that, the Gear Aid Revivex is phenomenal. You know, it's a great cleaner. I've used it. I've used their tenacious tape. I like it. And their wash-in water repellent is also really, really good. So I cannot stress enough how good they is. You know, and if Gear Aid wants to throw me some stuff, I won't turn it down. Shameless plug, I know. But it is what it is. I've let this soak for about 20 minutes. And I've moved it around a good bit. So it's fairly saturated. And I want this cleaner to get into everything. I don't know if I need to get some odor eliminator. And if I do, I will. But for a one-person tent with a rainfly, that's lightweight, packs down small, for what I paid, I cannot complain. I just got to do some cleaning. All right, so we've got it fairly washed. Then I still got to wash that. I got to rinse this. I really should have gotten a tub or a tote to do this. And the sprayer helps. You don't have to use a sprayer. I just like being able to mist everything down so it can soak in before I get to this point. But we're going to get it. Yeah, all my straps, all my tabs are in really great shape. I don't have to replace any of those, which I am super happy with. All the zippers work. All in all, this thing's in great shape. You know, I've got all the different guy lines, everything else, all the Velcro's in good shape. You know, it smells junky, and a lot of these black marks you see are just that rubberized coating. And once again, I don't care if the coating's compromised in some spots. I'm not trying to use this as a blackout tent, as far as that goes. And the extra spots for the guy lines is meant for tying out from really bad weather. You know, this is where your tent poles would slide through to hold it in place. So I mean, it's really phenomenal shape considering what it's been through as far as that is concerned. I cannot complain about this. You know, you could also use this as its own shelter if you were just needing like a rain fly, which is why it's designed the way it's designed. You can put the bars in this and just use this as a rain cover, or you can use it in conjunction with the tent itself. So that's why it's got these little snaps, snap onto the poles so it stays in position. That's why you got little tie downs and snaps and pole chutes, pole channels. So I can't complain. You see this? That's this coating coming off or wearing down. All right, once again, don't care. So we're gonna continue on with this, and I'll let you see after a couple of rinses what's happening. I'm gonna keep between my nose. All right, so this is the first bucket of rinse water. I went and dumped out the wash water and went over to the well, filled this, cleaned this out, filled this bucket back with fresh water. Went through it just same amount of time that I used for washing it, trying to get the soap out, trying to get the cleaner out, and trying to get whatever leftover debris. Most of that black you're seeing is the remnants of that coating that had started to dust and break down. And once again, that's normal for used tents with the blackout coating. So I'll come back after I do a couple more. I know Teddy here wants to play. Is that what you're after? All right. He's getting ready to take off. If you give me the ball, I'll throw it. If you give me the ball, I'll throw it. Teddy. The concept of catch and release just doesn't exist for you, does it, bud? And he wants me to go in the woods and play with him. We gotta do this, buddy, then we'll play, okay? Oh, there's your other ball. He hides them behind the backhoe. All right, anyways, be back in a second. What you doing, Teddy? What you doing? I'm gonna get your ball. I'm gonna get your ball. All right. So we're on our 4th rinse. And as you can see, you can now start to see the phalanges in the water. So it's getting clearer and cleaner. Just keep going. Get this into the light. That's 7 on the rinses. We're getting there. I am noticing though that, you know, I knew this stuff would break down. And it is breaking down hard. And I think that's what's coming out in the wash now. But I've noticed a lot of the seam sealed edges. If I can find one to show you. On this thing are toast. Here we go. You can see where it's all breaking down and busted. So all these seams right here, I'm gonna have to clean up and reseal. Same thing with the rain fly. I've yet to even wash the rain fly. All this so far has just been that. So once I get this done, I'm gonna set it up and I'm gonna tie it off between these trees and let air blow through it, dry it out. I don't know if this is going to be salvageable. I mean, I took a risk. They warned me it was a risk when I bought it. I don't know. I just got to get further into the process. Like I said, I really don't care about this coating. You know, this blackout coating. I could care less. And I can reseal everything. But, you know, when you're buying used equipment, this is what you run into. You know, especially when you're buying used equipment that the store that's selling you the used equipment tells you, hey, this is in bad shape. So we'll see how it goes and see what it costs me with seam sealer and tape. And we'll just deal with that as a whole separate thing from the cleaning. But essentially what I'm going to do for the rain fly, what I'm doing for that, I'm going to soak it down, scrub it with hand, put it in there, oscillate it, you know, shake it up, get it stirred up to get any trash off, then hang it up to dry, and then I'll use waterproofing. I'll re-waterproof this tent, the rain fly, and I'll do the tent too, just to be on the safe side. But yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. Alright, well that's rinse number 8, and I'm calling it good on the rinsing because at this point I'm not really seeing any dirt. It's mostly the debris from the rubberized coating inside, which means I'm going to have to reseal the tent and the rain fly, and I'm going to have to reseal the bottom of the tent. I'm looking at about another $40 in stuff from Gear Aid, and I am sticking with the Gear Aid products because I have used them. I love them to death. So I'm going to call this good. I'm going to get it set up, get the tent poles through it, hang it up in the air so it can dry, and then I'll get started on the rain fly. And I think I'll do all the repairs to the tents on a separate video, simply for the fact this is running on so long. Even if I do trim it up really hard, it's still gonna go on for a hot minute. And this is what you deal with when you buy secondhand gear. Like, some of these seams look really, really good, and then you have other sections of the seams that aren't great. And what I'll do is I'll get some liquid seam sealer. You see, it's just absolutely coming off. But as far as that goes, that's just the seam sealing tape. I'm actually going to get a liquid sealer, so I'm going to get another $40 worth of product. on top of what I already had on hand for my other gear to do it. And when I'm done, I will have excess. And we'll just take it from there as far as that goes. But let me finish washing all this stuff up and see you back. Alright, so I've got it washed out, rinsed out, and drying. I've got it up. So what I thought was a lot of mold and mildew turned out to be just staining from the rainfly and the bottom of the tent coating breaking down. So that's got to be resealed, and we know the seams have to be resealed. I do have small set of punctures in this mesh, which can be fixed with tenacious tape. All in all, for $40, and that's what I paid for it. I'm gonna be honest, you know, they cut me a hell of a deal on this because it was a semi-lost cause, and they didn't really know how bad it was, and I took a risk. And it's not fully set up, of course. I just got it sitting on a table just so I could get a good look at it set up. So seams need to be redone, floor needs to be redone, holes patched, and I think I have a good tent. I mean, the thing's very well made. The ripstop nylon is really good. Everything's breathable. You can see the dusting from where all the little flecks of stuff from the coating. So I don't know. I don't think I'm screwed. But once again, I bought this from somebody who was very honest. The folks at SGT Troy were super honest that, hey, this is in really bad shape. It's really stinky. It's really sticky. We really don't know how bad it is, so we'll sell it to you dirt cheap. And best of luck. And I don't fault them for that. Because I've redone tents before. It's been some time, but I have redone from before. And it's going to need some work. I mean, all this stuff is... It's got to get cleaned up, so I have to wipe all this down with isopropyl alcohol. Yeah, everything's sticking because it's absolutely wet. Just to re-waterproof the bottom here. But believe it or not, it doesn't smell like someone's been Ricky boxing in here for a week straight. You know, so cleaning it definitely made a big difference in its smell. Right now it just smells like rubber. And I think that might have to do with the coating. So a lot of work to be done to it. And if you guys want to see it, I'll film all the repairs. I'll have to find a location where I can do it because I need to set this up and have it stretched out and have time for everything to seal and whatnot. And because while it's drying, you don't want it to get tacky, and I'll go through all that. But if that's something you guys want to see, you know, hit it in the comments, hit that like button, let me know if it's worth your time. Alright, I'm going to do it anyways because at this point I'm stubborn and I like hard cases, and this is a hard case. So let me know. I'll list the products and everything that I've used or going to use, and we'll take it on from there. Rainfly's going to need the same treatment. I'm not going to film that. You guys saw everything I've done with the tent itself. The only difference between the tent and the rainfly is I don't have to worry about all the interior. We're going to let this dry and move along. Hey guys, it's the Wingnut. I appreciate you sitting through this video, however long it's going to be. You know, I was really hoping I was making out like a bandit, and I can't say I'm not, and I can't say I am. I really don't know, but I'm looking at $40, $50 worth of stuff just to do the seams and the seals on top of the stuff I already have. So it may not be a deal. It may have been one of the things where I should have bought one for full use price, or I should have bought a brand new one, for its listed price. But they gave me an opportunity to do something, and I think it's salvageable. You know, once I get it done up, cleaned up, and whatnot, I'm probably never going to be able to get the staining out. But if it's a good tint, when I'm done doing the repairs, yeah. And I am going to be using nothing but Gear Aid products. They're not paying me. They're not giving me the stuff. I just like their stuff, and I want to see how far I can push it with their gear. If their stuff can restore this, I'd say they'd be pretty good to keep as a kit in my oh shit kit for the motorcycle, or for my camping kit, for everything else. But yeah, guys, it's the Wingnut. Like, dislike, subscribe. It's on you. What did I get myself into? Have a good one. Teddy, what are you doing? Smelling stuff. I ain't smelling your stuff because it's stinky.